Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. Today's programme we're going to look at all three races, but before we do that I'm joined by a familiar face, Sasha. Sasha, Pearl, great to have you back at Knockhill.
Nice to be back, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this Tim Slade, David Slade battle is going to develop.
Have you been keeping track of the championships
I
throughout
have
the season
been,
so far?
yeah, as much as I can. Having a wee look at what's going on, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen today. What's your top tip?
Top tip's got to be Kyle Reid. He's on fire this weekend. I'm tipping him for a couple of wins.
Okay, so who's for the championship?
For the championship, Tim.
There we go. Let's see what happens.
Cars coming onto the grid for our first race. Tim Slade on pole with Stefan de Resta alongside. Row 2, Kyle Reid and Ross Wiley with Steve Clark and Hamish Brandon on row 3. Then it's David Slade and Steve Brewster, Alan Walk and Chris Reid, Guy Johnston and Malcolm McNabb on row 6. 7th row, newcomer Shane Stoney with Kenny McLeod next to him, Mikey Falcon at 15th, Scott McKenzie and Fiona Wallace, John Finlayson. Fiona on ladies pole position once again. Then it's Elaine Marshall, championship leader for the ladies, ahead of Emma Bruce, Will Smith, Murray Muir and Steph Houdini McMurdo back in 23rd. So 4 ladies contesting the Ladies' Cup. Many newcomers, 15 newcomers this year in the Newcomers' Cup. And of course the overall championship led by the Slade boys, David and Tim, reigning champion David Slade. But he's not having things his own way this weekend, because David qualifying down in 7th place. Qualifying time 64.380 and Tim Slade's pole position time 63.814. Steph McMurdo takes her position up at the back of the field, and we're nearly ready to go racing. Since you saw us last here on Motors TV, we've had an away round at Croft, which was supporting the British Touring Car Championship, and these cars very well received by everybody that was there and everybody that saw them on live television as well. And we get the green flag from the back of the field. I think the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup proving you don't have to spend a lot of money to have superb motor racing, which is what we've always seen from these cars, but what new spectators saw for the first time at Croft. And of course they'll be back with the touring cars at Knockhill in August as we get ready for our race. Lights on. Pole position, Tim Slade on his outside. In red is Stefan de Resta. Tim Slade, great start. De Resta slots into 2nd position. 3rd place is Kyle Reid. Good qualifying performance from Kyle. And look at Hamish Brandon from 6th position, having a good start as well in the fluorescent Panda car, ahead of Ross Wiley. There's Steve Clark in green, Stephen Brewster in yellow is there as well, car number 19. But it's Tim Slade that makes a great start, double race winner at the start of the season, won rounds 1 and 2. Since then has been virtually ever present on the podium, aside from 4th position in the opening race in May. Seems to have reversed fortunes with his brother here. David Slade just going through shot now. 22 is Guy Johnston, qualified pretty well. Guy's had just the 3 top 10 finishes. Going a little bit wide there, I think, was the reigning ladies champion Fiona Wallace. That's going to perhaps drop her back into the clutches of Elaine Marshall, who leads the championship at the moment for the Ladies' Cup. She's actually got a race in hand at the moment. She's got 30 points, 25 points for a race win. And we're on board with the man who won at Croft. This is Malcolm McNabb, a first-time winner, racing for Team Slade Racing. Look how busy it is up ahead of him. Very busy indeed. Car number 14, Alan Walk, is there. Good to see Alan back in the paddock again and racing and enjoying his racing too. I think he makes the position up there. There in car number 29 is Chris Reid, ever present in the championship this year, just the one retirement in round 3. But back up to the front we go with Tim Slade leading this one, 2nd in the championship. He's the leader. Stefan de Resta in 2nd position, followed by Kyle Reid in the white car with the green trim. Now, interesting to note, Stefan de Resta, of course, done a fair bit of karting, and we'll get the family connections sorted if you're watching Scottish Minis for the first time. Yes, the younger brother of Paul de Resta, the Formula 1 driver, and of course cousin to Marino and Dario Franchitti. I was keen to include Marino in the relationship thing because he is a damn good race driver too. So plenty of good motor racing genes in that family. And this is Stefan de Resta's third car meeting, but the first one was truncated with an accident on the first lap. So in essence, if he finishes all 3 races today, it'll just be his second full car race meeting. He's doing so well with second position on the grid today. The whole field, yeah, there you can see Fiona Wallace at the back of the pack. So Fiona's got a bit of work to do, down to 4th in the ladies' competition at the moment. There is Steve Brewster, car number 19. Steve with 2 retirements so far this year, 2 fastest laps, 1 win, 3 other podia. So certainly what everybody said this year was going to be a Slay benefit. On points, I suppose it does look like that. David Slay 251 points, Tim Slay 232, and then the gap back to Steve Clark on 151. But when you look at this, everybody's up with the Slays. They're catching up now, and a challenge for the lead. De Resta goes through into lead position down the inside of Tim Slay. And coming up as well is Kyle Reid in 3rd place. 4th position, up from 6 on the grid, is the Panda car of Hamish Brandon. He's followed by Ross Wiley in blue and white. Those 2 were involved at Croft. Inadvertent contact between the 2, sending the Panda car, who started on the front row of the grid, down. Off the circuit and down the order. He did a great drive back, did Hamish, running this year, running his own car rather than running with the Minimax team that he did last year. I think logistically perhaps easier for the team to be able to do that. It was a good effort to get the car repaired after an incident on the way home from Alton Park. They got the car rebuilt in time for Croft. That car clearly very much on song at the moment. So Stefan Di Resta, could we have a first-time winner on the card today? We had 5 different winners so far in the championship in 2012, and this could be winner number 6 as Tim Slay looks down the inside line, hard on the brakes. That's a classic mini manoeuvre by Tim Slay, and look at that, Kyle Reid decides he wants a piece of the action as well, and Kyle pops up the inside. He's challenging for 2nd place. It's going to be Slay coming through in the lead, side by side for 2nd, and you've got to say that Kyle Reid should have the line as they go down into Duffer's Dip. There they come, Slay leading it. He's certainly still got the pressure on, and Kyle Reid's through into 2nd place. The best result for Kyle is 2nd place. Took that in round 6 of the championship, our 3rd race of the 2nd meeting back in May. And he's really putting pressure now on Tim Slay. I wonder if it'll be possible, rather than squabbling over 2nd place with Stefan Di Resta, they might be well advised to work with each other and come through and try and just peg down any potential lead that Tim Slay is going to get. There's David Slay, the championship leader, the reigning champion in car number 1. Qualified down in 7th position, just behind Hamish Brandon, who really did get a superb start. And you can see Hamish there currently in 4th position, but coming under pressure from the blue and white car of Ross Wiley as into the lead, or making a move for the lead goes Kyle Reid. Can he hang on to it on the cut back on the exit of the hairpin? And yes, he does, I think. It's Kyle Reid now leading from Tim Slay. What a brilliant manoeuvre from Kyle Reid. He was down in 3rd a couple of laps ago and chips away, goes through as the Steve Clark pit board goes out. Stephen Clark 3rd in the championship, going through in 8th position. So Stefan Di Resta 4th in red. Then it's the fluorescent car of Hamish Brandon, the blue and white of 15, Ross Wiley, ex-Carter, who told me up at Croft that he's thinking about moving into Carrera Cup next year. And that would be great for him, great for Scottish motor racing as well, because of course Celtic Speed, our mini sponsors, very well involved, not only at mini level but also in the Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain. So that's going to strengthen Scotland's involvement in Carrera Cup and sports car racing. And this of course is Ross Wiley's 1st season in car racing. I know he loved racing in front of the big crowds now. As Tim Slay tries to go up the inside, flicks to the outside line of Kyle Reid. This is the challenge for lead position. Oh, Tim chops back in, and there's all sorts of shenanigans going on for 4th place. Hamish Brandon challenging for a podium, gets squeezed out onto the dirt by Ross Wiley. I think that was probably fair, but frenetic stuff going into the hairpin, and it looks to me like Hamish Brandon's lost a few places. Let's recount the positions. Reid, Slay, Di Resta, Wiley side by side between Steve Brewster and Hamish Brandon, who has lost a little bit of momentum. Let's look at the other runners as they come through. Here comes the we just cut away there from the leader of the Ladies' Championship once again, which is Elaine Marshall. Elaine's going to be top lady if things stay the way they are. She's got a couple of places lead at the moment over Emma Bruce, her teammate, who's running in 2nd position in the ladies, and of course those two running very well. Emma 3rd in the championship. As we go back to the race leader, and it's Kyle Reid still there. Tim Slay looks to the outside line. Stefan de Resta's in third, and Tim's got to be mindful of the challenge as well. Ross Wiley in fourth position. Following them, Steve Brewster might be a little bit of a dark horse in the yellow car. Steve Clark, he's there in green as well. Hamish Brandon's slipped away just a little bit, coming under pressure. Steve Clark there. Across the line they go. Look at this, we've got the top 7 cars all effectively dicing for lead position. At the moment, perhaps looking a little bit more settled than it did earlier on. Tim Slay takes a wide line. Confident move here. Is he going to be able to slot the number 3 car up the inside line? No, he isn't. And hanging on to it is Kyle Reid. Well, I was talking about first-time winners when Stefan de Resta was in lead position, but we can still talk about first-time winners. If Kyle Reid hangs on, he will be the 6th different winner of the season. And remember, Kyle's already used to being on the podium, but he's running so well at the moment. But he's got a very experienced driver, ex-Scottish XR2 champion behind him, and Tim Slay certainly knows how to overtake. Let's see if he's going to pull the manoeuvre on him. He's being a little bit mindful, but look around the outside goes Steve Brewster from 4th, past De Resta, outside line. Let's have a look. Look at that, great driving from De Resta, doesn't force him off, gives him room. Here's the last lap board going out now on the pit wall to the right of shot. Up over the line they go. Is Kyle Reid going to hang on for his first win? The gap is hardly anything at all. What a terrific view that is. Now, down Duffer Stick for the last time. Kyle Reid, car number 20, race leader, qualified 3rd on the grid. And look at that defensive line. Tim Slay takes a slightly more opportunistic drive, carries a little bit more momentum, but momentum's one thing, finding a gap is another. As looking up the inside for 3rd place is Ross Wiley, looking to try and get past Stefan de Resta, 4th position. I neglected to see there that we've got Steve Brewster up in 3rd place at the moment. So Steve Brewster had a win in round 6, as we mentioned, 3 other podia too, so no stranger to finishing on the podium. But significantly at the front, Kyle Reid is still there. It's all going to be about how they come down into the hairpin for the last time. Tim Slay takes the wide line. Slay wide. Kyle Reid on the inside, gets very defensive, uses quite a bit of track up on the way in, the correct line on the way out, and it's a sprint now up to the flag. Surely it's going to be a first win. It is. Kyle Reid, car number 20, takes the win. Tim Slay 2nd, Steve Brewster in 3rd, De Resta, Wiley, Slay, McNabb, Clark, Brandon, Guy Johnston is next. Shane Stoney gets the finish first time out. Here comes the ladies winner just coming up across the line now.
Welcome to another episode of Racing No Filter. Joining me in sunny California, Bill Wood, and down in sunny Florida, Peter King.
We're going to take a look at some of the products HPD has created for the 2012 Honda Civic, and specifically we're going to show you how to install an adjustable sway bar.
Until then, folks out there, you take care.
Elaine Marshall in 17th, ladies win for her once again, and Tynecastle Garage, her team, which is super news for them. Kyle Reid confirmed as the winner. Stefan de Resta gets fastest lap. He's 4th behind Tim Slay and Steve Brewster. It was Ross Wiley 5th, David Slay 6th from Malcolm McNabb, Steve Clark, Hamish Brandon, Guy Johnston, Shane Stoney 11th for his first race in the Scottish Minis, Alan Walk in 12th, then Kenny McLeod and Chris Reid, Mikey Falconer 15th from Murray Muir. Elaine Marshall, as we said, 17th, winning the ladies. Scott McKenzie is 18th. 19th, John Finlayson from Emma Bruce. Steph McMurdo 21st from Will Smith, and Fiona Wallace in 23rd. Significantly, no retirees. Great driving from everybody.
Okay, we're standing with Kyle Reid, the winner of the first mini race of the day. A hard fought mini race out there, as every single mini race at Knockhill is. But you've managed to come home. You've beat the Slade Juggernaut, and you've come home the victor.
Yeah, I'm chuffed a bit. It's my first victory, so I'm just speechless. It was really good out there, and some brilliant racing between me, De Resta, and Slay. Did speak to Tim about it before. He was tactics. Forget the tactics, Tim. Just go. So no. Just like to say thanks to all my sponsors again, William Nicol, Ackman, Coil Serve, Palmaris, in Nortruck, so thank you very much.
Now, we spoke a good few times on the podium, so it's not your first interview, but you do sound a little bit almost emotional here, pal.
Overwhelmed. I've been pushing now for a year and a half, and I've got it at last, so it's well worth it.
Well, you're lucky we're on TV, or are they giving you a cuddle?
I'll still have a cuddle.
Oh, okay. Tim, I was looking back through the book of ARDS, people that we've had at Knockhill here, and Dave Newsham and you are my greatest claims to fame, people that I've put through their ARDS course.
Really?
Yeah.
You're that sad?
And
that's it. I'm one of your great claims to fame.
Yeah, well, in Scotland, let's not conquer the world just yet.
All right, okay.
Fantastic race. Kyle was saying that you and him had a wee chat about tactics, but as soon as it gets going, you know what a mini race is like. It's like a tumble dryer.
Yeah, pretty much. Kyle sort of came over and says, "Oh, fancy doing this, blah blah," sort of thing, you know, and just all right, I'll just go with the flow. And obviously, Kyle was driving brilliant. I mean, so was the rest as well. I mean, the two of them were just taking lumps out of me into the braking zone at the hairpin. For some reason I just couldn't put it together. I mean, I managed to sort of break away and I got back into lead again, broke away again, but unfortunately the two of them closed the back gap in the hairpin, and then we started going for big lunges, and it just holds everybody up, you know. But it was great. It was really good fun, great race, but unfortunately I didn't come on top.
Starting with Stephen Brewster here after your third place in the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup Championship there. Cracking drive, Stephen, as always. 100% commitment all the way through. Kyle Reid just pepping you to the post, and that old man Tim Slay, once again, the guy in front of you.
Yeah, I know, he's hard to beat. Kyle's managed to do it today, and good for him, deserves it, so I'm chuffed for him as well, but delighted, yeah.
How's the car going? Is it coping well with the track conditions that we've got here today at Knockhill on the Saturday?
Yeah, I thought the car was good, a few changes to the setup, and it's just running well for me this weekend, and yeah, it was perfect for that race and the conditions, yeah.
A lot of drivers are saying that they find the track surface actually quite slippery because there's an oil spill this morning. How do you find it?
Yeah, I think the track overall is quite slow compared to normal. Not 100% sure why, and it is a bit slidey, yeah, but yeah, I seem to keep it on track, and that's what matters right now. So,
what do you think you can do for the rest of the races? Can we get a clean sweep?
No, I mean, anything can happen in these races, you know, starting 8th, come to 3rd, and it could completely reverse round the next race, and then the race after we could have a completely different winner, so you just never know with the Minis, to be honest.
Listen, congratulations, and I'm pretty sure I'll see you on the podium throughout the weekend.
Okay, thanks very much. Cheers.
It's the second race of the weekend for the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. The grid is lined up behind me in the order that they finished race 1. Kyle Reid taking that first win, and I want to speak to him, so follow me this direction. He's a little bit camera shy, but we'll have a good chat. Kyle, step this way. We'll get you over by your car. If we could swing the camera around, get all your sponsors on. What a great day yesterday. I wasn't here. I saw you in the morning. You'd qualified 3rd, and you were really confident. But what a great result.
Yeah, my first win, so it was good to get it under the belt as well. So here's hoping I can get the same again today.
You've broken it now. You've broken the back of it. This will be it. Win from now on. The confidence must be sky high.
Well, I hope so. It's not as easy when you've got people behind you. I like to have somebody in front to gauge myself on, but just have to go out and do my best again.
Good stuff. Good luck. We'll all be watching. Stefan, great day yesterday to begin with. Great qualifying. It looked like that win was going to be on, but the race didn't quite go to plan, did it?
No, we're struggling a bit for straight line speed. The race started. We lost the place off the start and we're back to 3rd. We climbed our way back up into the lead, and I was a lot quicker than them, but I think there's a lot of desperation in the drivers out there, and the moves are a bit uncanny, and once somebody gets in at the front they tend to drive around the inside, so it was a 10-car train, and MD could have won the race, MD could have lost the race. I'm hoping today driving gets a bit better and they spread out and they can actually do a proper race.
It's a good result. Let's remember when I spoke to you at the first round, you'd never even driven the car before. When we saw rain for the first time, that's the first time you'd been out in the wet, so you've got to be pleased to be at the sharp end.
Yeah, I still haven't done a race in the wet. I only lasted half a lap the last time, so I'm still a newbie at the wet, but it is good to get up to sharp pace so fast, but it's still a bit frustrating when you know the quickest one out and then you can't win. So just need to go forward in this one, hopefully.
Make it entertaining for us.
We'll say that.
There we go, I'll hand it upstairs and they'll give you a run through of the grid.
Let's have a look at the grid for our second race, and race 1 winner Kyle Reid on pole with Tim Slay next to him. Then it's Steve Brewster and Stefan de Resta, Ross Wiley and David Slay on the 3rd row. 4th row, Malcolm McNabb and Steve Clark, then Hamish Brandon and Guy Johnston, Shane Stoney and Alan Walk completing the top dozen in the race. Next, Kenny McLeod and Chris Reed, followed by Murray Muir and Elaine Marshall. 18th is Scott McKenzie. 19th, John Finlayson, followed by Emma Bruce and Steph McMurdo. Then it's William Smith and Fiona Wallace, with a little bit of work to do in the Ladies' Cup from the back of the grid in 23rd. If anyone can do it, Fiona can, reigning champion, of course, in the Ladies' Cup. What a magnificent first race we had. Our 6th different winner in the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup this year. Kyle Reid, just proving how competitive this championship is. And it doesn't matter whether they're racing here on their home track at Knockhill or away, Alton Park, Croft Circuit, we always seems to bring out the best in everybody in this very, very cost-effective championship. Now, I was talking about Elaine Marshall in race number 1. I found out at the last meeting, which I didn't realise, chatting to David Kerr from Tynecastle Garage, that the yellow and white Mini is actually the last car driven or raced by the late, great David Leslie. So, great to see that car doing so well for Tynecastle Garage. They are a really very, very happy team, a very competent team as well. Of course, multi-champions in Scottish Mini Cooper Cup racing. Now, we had Cole Bradley racing with us for Coastal Racing at Croft. And I think he might be out with us again at the later touring car round, but it was good to see Carl, or Carol as they call him. And I was joking that maybe he should be in the Ladies' Championship with that pronunciation. But we're getting ready to go for round 12 of the championship. Great start by Kyle Reid. Tim Slay on the outside is equal to it. And what a splendid sight they make. Remember, no DNFs in the first race. Let's hope that everybody behaves themselves in this one. Murray Muir getting a good start. There in car number 89, the all-white car, is Shane Stoney, the 17-year-old winner of last year's 750 Motor Club Saxmax Championship, the Teenage Racing Championship. And Shane, who came up through the ranks of karting, thanks to the encouragement of his parents, and notably Chris Stoney, his dad. We saw him race in the Ginetta Junior Championship, but I think he was maybe struggling a little bit with budget for that, so went into Saxmax, and he's running in the National Mini Championship. But great to see him here at Knockhill, and of course seeing a driver from the National Championship coming up racing the Scots. You can see that talent-wise, first race here at Knockhill, doing ever so well. But it's Tim Slay leading. He's got the better of Kyle Reid. All sorts of place changes going on down the order. Guy Johnston in the white and yellow car trying to make up a position. Elaine Marshall in the thick of it as well as the race leaders come up across the line once again. Always just take a little pause to enjoy the sound of these fantastic cars going past the pit wall. There's the reigning champion David Slay, finished 6th in race number 1 and already up into 5th position in this one, followed by Hamish Brandon, definitely looking sharper this meeting. Steve Clark down behind him. Clarkey finished the first race just behind him in 9th place. So cracking action wherever you're looking on circuit, and this is the view from Steve Brewster in 3rd position. And at the moment it's Kyle Reid, who we were looking at in 2nd place, the white car, putting pressure again on Tim Slay. Now Kyle Reid will know that that confidence will be there, the fact that he's taken his first win, and he did it fair and square. It wasn't one of the reverse grid wins. I'm not taking anything away from a driver that wins for the first time on a reverse grid, but he's done it from front of the grid. He's done it by overtaking a guy who's further up the championship than him. It's going to be a big confidence boost to him for sure. So expect to see more wins from Kyle Reid, car number 20, over the course of the rest of the season, and maybe he'll be able to pull off a double. Now, significantly, David Slay won 2 races at Alton Park, so that was a particularly good meeting for him. His brother Tim second in both of those races, and the pair a little bit adrift at Croft. David Slay taking 3rd and 4th, Tim Slay taking 2nd and 3rd. So both on the podium as the challenge for the lead. And Kyle Reid's back through. Stefan de Resta's barging his way through. Having dealt with Steve Brewster, is coming through, but Tim Slay hanging on to second position at the moment. There's no way that he wants to let Stefan de Resta come through. So we look at the Acumen-backed car of race leader Kyle Reid, who's got back in front. Incredible stuff from Kyle Reid. Well, Kyle qualified in third place. He knew he had the pace, and remember the race format for the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup is straightforward qualifying for race number 1. Race number 2, the grid is determined on the race finishing order from race 1, and race 3 is a balloted reverse grid, just like touring cars, when one of the key positions will draw, and we'll go back maybe P6, 7 or 8. We'll find out a bit later on how that pans out today. That's when we usually tend to get a brand new winner. It hasn't happened today. This is the view back from Steve Brewster, who's managed to get himself back ahead of Stefan de Resta in car number 11, the red machine. There he is having a go again. Now at Tim Slay, who's being passed on the outside by Steve Brewster for second position. The 19 car trying to hang on to it. They're still side by side. Oh, Hamish had a little bit of a Mr. Whippy moment there. Actually, wasn't so much tail happy. I think just a little bit of a moment coming out, and David Slay responded to that. But Hamish up with the big boys here. This is 6 car. Any one of these 6 could take the win here. There is Tim Slay back into second position and out of shot so far. The race leader getting away. Kyle Reid is getting away with the lead because Tim Slay, this is exactly what Tim Slay doesn't want. He's getting embroiled in a battle for second position, and the race leader capitalising on that one. When you go defensive, it slows your lap times down, and that's what's happened to him. Now, fastest lap of the race, lap 2, Steve Brewster, car number 19, 64.003. Steve Clark's got a problem. Steve Clark, third in the championship. That's a big problem for him. That's going to open the gap between the Slays and the rest of the drivers for sure. Now, Ross Wiley's not on the track as well, so this really is going to be a big gap opener for the Slay boys. Might not be in P1 at the moment, the Slays, but they're pulling in those points, which is the most important thing to do. So car number 4, Malcolm McNabb coming up as well. He's running well. Now, Malcolm, first time we've really had a good look at him in this meeting. Race winner for the first time in our reverse grid race at Croft, and what a superb race Malcolm did there. It's one thing getting into the lead, it's quite another thing hanging on to it. Looks like Elaine Marshall, we just saw the yellow and white car of the Marshall construction backed entry running well and still leading the ladies competition, but I can tell you that Fiona Wallace is making a bit of progress, having I think got ahead now of Emma Bruce. So Elaine's going to Fiona's going to pick up a few points. Look at that spectacular shot there as David Slay lifts a wheel. This is really superb stuff. Up to 80 miles an hour here, a little bit faster into top speed, edging up towards the ton as they come down into the hairpin once again. Hard on the brakes we go. Behind us we've got car number 11, the red machine of Stefan de Resta, getting very close. You can see Stefan coming in. It's one thing driving a car fast, it's quite another getting involved in race strategy, working how close quarter you can get to the cars in front. So Tim Slay still in second position, Steve Brewster in third, Hamish Brandon, no, that's Shane Stoney up into 7th position. There he is, 89, the newcomer, racing as we said in the National Mini Championship. Absolutely no doubting his racecraft and race skill. And, well, he may not have the budget to perhaps be on the Toka package, but hey, we're lucky, we're getting to see him race. Car number 29, Chris Reid, running well. Looks like he's going to be on for another top 10 finish, and that's the key thing for newcomers to do is to chip away. Top 10's probably going to be the first target for drivers. And once you've done that, then you start looking for top 6 and then podia. Possibly a win. If you're top 6, you could get pole position in the reverse grid draw. Chris Reid, 4th in the Newcomers Championship at the moment, as Steve Brewster continues to pile the pressure on Tim Slay, but David Slay's up behind them as well, with Hamish Brandon, beg your pardon, Malcolm McNabb. Not quite sure why I'm getting those two muddled up, because obviously Hamish is fluorescent and Malcolm very much the easier on the eye colour scheme for sure. But are we going to get Slay second and third? It looks like David Slay might be a way back, but Kyle Reid, look at the lead that he's got. Kyle Reid it is, who's looking for 2 successive wins. He'd never won prior to coming here today, and it looks like he's going to take Not only his first win this weekend, but also his second. Will he be the first driver ever to take a hat-trick? Now that's really piling the pressure on him, because we haven't had anybody do that in Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. Back on board we go with Steve Brewster, reigning champion. Right behind him, David Slay in the Athena Asset Management car. Nice plug for Demon Tweaks on the front as well. That might be worth a few quid in vouchers for him, who knows. As he looks to the outside line here, Slay's having a look. What a terrific shot this is. Slay giving Brewster plenty of space at the moment, but Malcolm McNabb's having a look round the outside. Malcolm McNabb's trying to go, so too is Slay round the outside of Brewster, but it's Kyle Reid that takes 2 wins. Kyle's done it. It's a double for Kyle Reid up across the line. What a fantastic meeting for him. Tim Slay second, Steve Brewster, and a photo for fourth place, David Slay, Hamish Brandon and Shane Stoney, all there. Incredible stuff. Absolutely brilliant racing from these guys. We're hearing that a few penalties being applied throughout the field for track limits, but that will come out in the official result. Nothing can take away from the second win of his career and the meeting for Kyle Reid. Second place Tim Slay, third and fastest lap for Steve Brewster from David Slay, Hamish Brandon in fifth and Shane Stoney sixth, Guy Johnston seventh from Malcolm McNabb, then it's Murray Muir and Chris Reid, Alan Walk 11th, Michael Falconer in 12th place, 13th, and again ladies winner Elaine Marshall from Scott McKenzie, William Smith 15th, then John Finlayson and Fiona Wallace second in the ladies, ahead of Emma Bruce in 18th place.
Kyle, well done. No more tears today though with that second win.
No, another win. Again, brilliant again. Went out. I'd worked with Tim for the first few laps, and then I thought I was quicker than him, so I went out and passed him, and then before I knew it, I was away on my own. They were all battling behind me, and I just kind of edged away, which was good. It made it a lot easier.
Exactly. I bet you couldn't believe your luck when you saw them 2 or 3 wide behind you, because obviously that just gives you that chance to go. Yeah,
they were just battling away, which was giving me time. And I was out there, and I was just thinking, relax, take your time, just smooth as you can. It worked.
You're enjoying this racing now, aren't you?
Yeah, it's good.
Well done. It's great to see. Well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
The final Scottish Mini Cooper Cup race is lining up behind me in the holding bay. Just a few minutes till the start of the race. Sasha's caught up with a couple of the drivers.
Yeah, Shane, you're starting on pole position for this, and it's a couple of years since you've been here. It's obviously going quite well for you.
Yeah, we're a bit surprised about how it's all. We've had a bit of luck to get here, but we've been going forwards and not backwards, so we're quite happy.
So you're going to try and capitalise on your pole position today?
Hopefully. But
hopefully. That doesn't sound fully committed.
Depends on the weather, doesn't it? It's not kill.
It's going to be dry, it'll be fine.
Hopefully.
Well, good luck anyway, we'll keep a good eye on you. Stefan, just wanted to grab a quick word with you before you go out for your last race here. Obviously, you finished 4th, I think, in the last race. You're starting right from the back. You're going to have your work cut out for you.
We've been quick enough to win both races now, but it's just the racing's a bit different in this. It's a bit argy-bargy, and we've not made the best decisions and how to battle through them. I'm still learning, I'm still a newcomer, so it was just unfortunate we got excluded for being underweight there, so we'll go out and see what happens. The main thing is I get my signatures so I can upgrade my licence.
I can feel a little bit of drizzle in the air as well. Would that help you or hinder you?
I don't think it would help, because I've never drove in the wet before.
Okay, so it's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience. It would make it exciting, so whatever happens. As I say, I can't go back, I can only go forward, so it doesn't really matter what the temperature does.
Well, best of luck. We're going to look for great things from you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Well, the guys are all getting incredibly busy here in the holding area because it looks like it's going to rain. They're obviously all panicking. Let's see how they get on. Richard, over to you.
Our reverse grid race, and wouldn't you know it, first time driver Shane Stoney draws pole position with Hamish Brandon alongside. Then it's David Slay and Steve Brewster, Tim Slay and Kyle Reid on row 3. 4th row, Guy Johnston with Malcolm McNabb. Then it's Murray Muir and Chris Reid, Alan Walk and Mikey Falconer in 12th place. 13th on the grid is Elaine Marshall. Next to her is Scott McKenzie. Then Will Smith and John Finlayson, Fiona Wallace and Emma Bruce 17th and 18th. The drivers that didn't have the rub of the green in race 1, Steph McMurdo and Steve Clark, Ross Wiley and Kenny McLeod. Stefan De Resta will start at the back. He was excluded from race number 2 for being underweight, but he gets another bite of the cherry. I think we're possibly don't have Kenny McLeod out there in Kylie, so certainly didn't feature in the results in race 2. So hard lines Kenny, let's hope you can get sorted out in time for the next race meeting. But this is round 13 of the championship. Let's hope it's not unlucky for anybody. I don't know about you guys, I'm not superstitious at all. I just think this is going to be another cracking race. And it's Shane Stoney that starts on pole position, and well, 2 races under his belt, kept a good speed up on those 2 races, learning the circuit, and could well be winner number 7 of the championship from pole. You'd certainly got to be brave to bet against him. 11th in race number 1, 6th in race number 2 for Shane Stoney. We'll see how he does here. 4 on, 5 lights on. Shane Stoney in white. Hamish Brandon again always seems to wind up at the front of the grid. Hasn't had the luck from the front so far. A little bit on the wipers for Hamish Brandon. Shane Stoney leads them away. Hamish Brandon's not giving up without a fight though, as they go down Duffer's Dip for the first time. And we're going to see the Panda car in lead position. Now, to be fair, none of these guys have raced against each other before. You can see a bit of rain starting to fall on the camera lens. It's Hamish Brandon that leads, but look at the bun fight behind. Shane Stoney in second position. David Slade trying to barge his way through ahead of Kyle Reid to take third place, which he does. So David Slade through into third. Following them, it's Steve Brewster, followed by Tim Slade. Guy Johnston is next.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new GoRacingTV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
But David Slade, you've got to be very brave to bet against him from there. As we said, a quiet weekend, but sometimes it's the quiet weekends that can win the championship, because as long as you're still scoring valuable points, that's exactly what David's doing. We're just looking at David Slade, no retirements at all this year. This is the 13th race of the year, no retirements for him, no retirements for Tim Slade either. As we look at Elaine Marshall having a look to just try and pass somebody. Job to know whether to have a quick look at my stats or keep focused on the screen. Probably better to do the latter. So Elaine running well at the moment and starting to put a bit of pressure on. Oh, she put pressure on Ross. No, Ross Wiley's moved up, hasn't he, ahead of Elaine on his charge through from the back of the field. Car number 9, Steve Clark, following Ross Wiley. As we said, those two starting about 20th on the grid. And the last time we had an onboard from Steve Clark, it was curtains, wasn't it, in race number 2. Car looking a lot better this time. Steve Clark certainly a little bit of a find for this year. 2 fastest laps. You've got to say, I reckon he could well be the 7th different winner, because taking a three fourth positions, 1 second position, 3rd, 2 fastest laps as well. Very quick young man as David Slade goes across. It's good for Hamish Brandon, running in 2nd position still from Shane Stoney in 3rd. Then it's Tim Slade in 4th. It doesn't matter whether it's reverse grid or otherwise, the Slade boys are still there. There is Kyle Reid, followed by Steve Brewster in car number 19. Then it's Malcolm McNabb giving chase as well. Now Malcolm, having had his win at Croft, is going to be keen to get a first win here at Knock Hill. I don't think it looks like it's going to happen today, but he's certainly got a decent amount of pace thus far. Looks like it's going to be another top 10 finish for Malcolm, so running well. This is the view back from Steve Brewster's car. Stephen currently running in that 6th position. Great battle for 2nd place still on. Hamish Brandon still there in car number 8. The Panda car hanging on from Shane Stoney. The ex-Carter, as we said, has been running in the National Mini Championship. Very welcome visitor here. There in pit lane, you can see Guy Johnston. So Guy who had that excursion off the circuit, not sure if something broke, but he's just got in to make sure that everything is okay. But he now finds himself a lap down and will be in 22nd position when he rejoins. Stefan de Resta at the back of the field is the driver that he probably needs to try and catch, but we're still focusing on David Slay leading. Slay leading then. Brandon second position, Stoney in third, Tim Slay in fourth. Will be keen to try and get a little bit further up the ladder. Tim Slay could be the top point scorer. We just saw the stricken car of William Smith, who is out of the race. That's bad news for Will. Car number 30, his third retirement of the season, retired in race 2 of the opening round and round 10 of the championship as well. But other than that, Will's been posting some consistent results. Best result of 15th, which was actually in race 2. So a bit of a seesaw weekend for him. Best finish and then a DNF as we go on board with Tim Slay. Down into that for Tim Slay, busy chasing the third place back. Shane Stoney looking to get a podium on his first ever Scottish Mini Cooper Cup visit to Knock Hill. Let's see whether he can hang on to that one. At the moment he's busy challenging Hamish Brandon. This is potentially Hamish's best finish as well. He's never been on the podium before, and it's always a little bit worrying because you start talking about it and start building the drivers up, and then it can all go belly up. Tim Slay, of course, wants to get in. What you can't see, what we haven't seen this weekend, I'm not saying that we've had Team Slay team racing over the course of the season, because I'm pretty sure we probably haven't, because each of the Slay boys wants to win in their own right. They are literally fighting out for the championship themselves. But at this particular moment in time, there's nothing they can do. There's not really anything that David Slay can do. Certainly, if the Slays were team racing, then David would be backing up the second and third place drivers behind him, so that the fourth place car, his brother, could close in. That is very... Look at the gap. It's definitely not happening. As through on the inside of Shane Stoney. Up into third place on the last lap goes Tim Slay. So Tim Slay, who's only been off the podium once, has done it again. He's got back onto the podium, and a potential third place here. His brother David's leading on the last lap. Second position is Hamish Brandon, but it looks like David Slay could be in line to take his 6th win of the championship. And that's a great way to defend any title. The number 1 car in position number 1 here. Through car for the last time. Hamish Brandon over the dirt. Now is he going to scrub off too much speed here? Is he going to lose a podium? Well, I said it was so easy to talk too soon. Tim Slay's got the inside line and challenging for second position from Brandon, who very clearly felt a bit of pressure there. Maybe took his eye off the ball. And is he going to lose second? He might lose third as well. He's really going to kick himself if that happens, because Shane Stoney's looking up the inside. Here, through the rain-covered lens, is taking his 6th win, David Slay. And look at that, Brandon's got third, but second place it's Slay first, Slay second. Hamish Brandon with a maiden podium is there in third place, who gets the better of Shane Stoney. Shane Stoney, superb meeting, 4th place for him, with Steve Brewster in 5th. David Slay taking his 6th win of the year. Tim Slay's brother, 2nd position and fastest lap in round 13 of the championship. Hamish Brandon 3rd, his first ever podium. Shane Stoney 4th from Steve Brewster. Kyle Reid, great weekend for him, winding up in 6th from Malcolm McNabb. Ross Wiley from the back of the field up to 8th. Then it was Chris Reed, Murray Muir, Steve Clark, Alan Walk rounding off the top dozen. They're followed by triple ladies winner Elaine Marshall. Scott McKenzie 14th from John Finlayson. Then Steph McMurdo and Mikey Falconer. Following Mikey was Emma Bruce, then Fiona Wallace, Stefan De Resta and Guy Johnston classified in 21st. So David Slay maintains a small lead at the head of the championship from his brother Tim. Kyle Reid in 3rd place from Steve Brewster. Then it's Steve Clark and Malcolm McNabb. In the newcomers, Malcolm leads from Ross Wiley, Steve Clark 3rd, then Chris Reed, Scott McKenzie and John Finlayson. And in the Ladies' Cup, Elaine Marshall continues to top the table, with Fiona Wallace in 2nd place, Emma Bruce in 3rd, ahead of Steph McMurdo and Louise Flitton.
I'm here with the winners from the Scottish Mini Championship there, and David, congratulations, fantastic win there. They kind of dominated that a little bit.
Aye, no, it was quite straightforward, you know. I got a chance to break away the first 2 places, and these guys just had their own match going on behind me, so just maintain the gap there and don't do anything stupid, and kind of worked quite well.
And you went with a completely dry setting to go out on that. I think that worked for you, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, you were kind of trying to call the weather there. It looked like it was maybe going to rain, and maybe it wasn't. So Tim and his guys putting their better tyres in the back there. I thought it's just not going to happen. Me and Malcolm stuck with what we had, and it kind of panned out okay.
It worked out well. We've while since you've had a win here?
Well, Joe was just saying that as well. I think we've not been here for several weeks, but I'm pretty sure the last meeting here we had back in May, I had one of the 3 races which I won. So I think that's not quite correct, but I'd have to look back on the results to make sure.
Well, you just need to prove us wrong the next time and just keep winning again.
I'll
You're back to your winning ways all the time.
Well, hope so. Yeah, hope so.
And Tim, you had an interesting race in your hands there. You were sort of sticking there in 4th for a wee while.
Yeah, I was in no man's land. I mean, I made the wrong tyre choice, or wrong setup choice for just at the last minute in Park Fairway there. I thought, right, okay, I'll get myself, how are we going to call this? So I put on grippier tyres at the rear, softer setup and that as well, softer tyre pressure. And just, the car was far too planted. I knew it like a couple of laps in, I thought, oh no, I'm struggling here. Sitting in no man's land in 4th, and I thought, if these guys don't start fighting in front of me, this is all I'm going to be able to do. So you're shouting behind the wheel, fight, you know, and eventually they had a wee sort of battle, and I managed to sort of get in the mix, and it was great.
And you got sort of mugged there at the end.
Yeah, I managed to just sort of nip Hamish as well. He sort of defended pretty hard coming into Clark sort of thing, which he didn't really have to do. You know, the yellow flag was there, sort of sold him the dummy sort of thing, and he took it, and I just slowed him up entirely, you know, for sort of like railway and that as well. I thought I'll have that, and up the inside, you know, that was it for the hairpin. So delighted.
And congratulations to Slay Racing again, fantastic result for you guys. Yep. You must be absolutely kicking yourself, Hamish, with that yellow flag there.
I was fighting the whole race, trying to hang on to second. I could see Tim behind, and I thought, I was hoping Tim would catch up and start putting pressure on Stoney there behind me, and I made a bit of an idiot of McIntyre's, and in the end Stoney caught up with me, and Tim managed to like sell me a dummy up into Clark's, and I stupidly forgot there was a yellow flag, a bit of inexperience there, and ended up sitting in 4th, coming down at the hairpin. I thought I've blown it, and then I thought, you know what, I'll have to try. I can either go off into gravel in the exit of the hairpin, or I can maybe bag a podium. So I'm absolutely stoked. It kind of feels like a win, so it's first time. So
and you're not going to fall for that one with it selling you for the dummy and the yellow flag again?
No way, no way. Hopefully not. No, they're hard racers and they know what they're doing, so they've been doing it for years. So to be on the podium with Tim and David, it's, you know, you can't really complain at being third to those two. So I'm well pleased. I'm really pleased.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Elaine, that went totally according to plan.
Oh, it did. The whole weekend's actually went to plan except for qualifying, so I'm more than happy with that.
And how did you find the conditions? It was a little bit slippery out there in places, wasn't it?
Well, they'd set the car up sort of in the middle, so it was a wee bit slippery, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So the car had a lot more grip than a lot of people's cars, so I was quite happy.
Yeah, I think there were some guys kind of going for a little bit of a wet setting, and it didn't really come to that.
No, it just sort of blew over, so it was quite okay. My car had lots of grip actually.
Well, you've got a huge big smile on your face. Good luck for the next race meeting, and good to see you on the podium.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, that's the end of an awesome day's racing here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. Please make sure you join us next time.